Nothing ever happens, boys. Eating good tonight. Ha ha! Yes, yes, yes! Oh, this is exciting, guys. This is exciting. We're entering a new chapter. Regardless of what happens, we are entering a new chapter of history, of American history, of world history. My president did something truly brave. He stood in the way of war, and he stood for peace, and he achieved peace. He saved millions of lives, potentially trillions of dollars, not even counting the loss of productivity and the loss of potential with the loss of life. God bless President Trump. I have been praying and praying and praying, and my prayers are answered. Prayers matter. Prayers matter. Don't forget to pray. Don't forget to pray. The soy slug Stephen Colbert shrieking about anti-Semitism, shrinking back when Israel's atrocities are brought to bear, is the perfect punctuation point of a clown stuck inside of a dirty toilet swirling down the drain. Let's go! Yeah! I think it's really funny that every apex predator is a moody pushover that gets mogged by groups of small animals. Oh. You know, I really hate Richard Nixon's face and his dick nose and his stupid barky voice and the cult of personality that's been built out of worshiping the mistakes he made that he didn't even really want to do. My dad didn't used to believe that Henry Kissinger was a bad man. And I sat down with him one day and I explained the Cambodian War, the Railroad of Death, the mass amount of mines that are still left there that blow up children to this day. And it changed his tune just a little bit. And he just found out recently, with independent research, that the Vietnamese didn't actually start the war. But it was a false flag like 9/11. Which, naturally, a horrible mistake that led to a series of events that drove my uncle, Danny, a surgeon that had men under him die, crazy. Unfortunately, I've never met him. I'm proud of my dad. I'm very, very, very proud of my dad. He was right. And he warned. Okay, Trump has a plan. And Trump did have a plan. Also, I was right. You know, Netanyahu's a bad friend. Netanyahu didn't do the right thing. This is not planned from the beginning. They're not just lulling the Iranians into a false sense of security. I was right on that. I'm sorry for dooming out yesterday. To all the Trump supporters out there, they were just like, shut up, man. You were right. You were right. My apologies. I'm glad I put those caveats in place that he still wanted peace, because he did. I knew it. I felt it in my gut. I was praying for it. I was wish casting. And, oh, yes! Yes! Trump might be one of the greatest presidents in American history. Up there with Lincoln. And, I stand corrected on Trump. My father tried to tell me, and I've been so churlish in the past, that I screamed at him, insulted him. I wounded my father's heart very deeply. But I admit, I had Trump derangement syndrome in 2017. I was listening to the wrong people. People I still see that are getting their stuff wrong. 100%. But yeah, that was a mistake on my part. I deeply apologize for that behavior. Because I see now, hindsight 2020, no, I was the one in the wrong. 100%. Unfortunately, though, back to Lincoln and Trump. Lincoln was killed by a spoil sport, so he never got to reconstruct the South like he wanted. And the sickly worm Andrew Johnson deliberately let the South rot and molder, all while pardoning the same sickly Confederates that marched many, many men off to die in needless conflict so that they can live their comfortable lives, stealing votes and ruining everything. For anyone who thinks freeing the slaves is a bad thing, most of you are doing the mold bug thing and are just cheeky. You're trying to own the lives. I see you. But DeSantis has gone so far as to mandate the teaching of pro-slavery rhetoric inside of schools. So there are generations being raised here to think criticism of Israel is both immoral and illegal, and that slavery was good. He's truly a monster, and the only person that I know that likes him has Trump derangement syndrome. You know, Tucker called this out recently. It doesn't matter how nice DeSantis is. If that's the first thing you go into office and do, is you pass a hate speech bill preventing people from telling the truth, you're wrong. You're wrong, and you're not an American. And the only reason why you're in the Florida governor house is because Florida has been so wrecked by the opioid crisis created by the Sackler family. And the police in Florida, you know, God bless them, but if any of them know what they did when they allowed opiate sellers everywhere to have their way, well, shame on them. That's all I'll say. Lincoln had plans to repatriate anybody who wanted to go and start a new life in Africa with George III and Uncle Sam's explicit blessing, and those plans were foiled. So anybody who says slavery was good and Lincoln was bad, and anybody who says the stuff like, well, you know, I don't like black people in my country, well, it's not the North's fault. My father, nor my mother, her Irish ancestry's fault. Came over here, coal miners, packed in ships like sardines, mining coal, suffering so that their kids could have a better life. And not my unionist father. No. It's not me that you should blame. And I love black people. And the people that hate black people the most, their ancestors are the reason why they're here. And if they touch any innocent black person, they will be touched too. Straight up. You will never have an America owned by Mossad, divided up by racism. It will not happen. We elect people like Trump who care, who aren't racist, no matter how much the media smears him as racist, as Hitler. No, we don't elect those people. We don't elect Nazis or Zionists. It's not happening. Get out of here, DeSantis. Get out of here. Building a concentration camp in the Everglades. You're sick. This was the foiling of Lincoln's plans. This was so that, as LBJ said, they could keep black people on the plantation indefinitely. That's why. And LBJ, also, huge lover of Israel. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence, those slave traders. You see in the paperwork that they file, every time there's a slave ship that sinks into the ocean with gold on it, they go, actually, that was mine. Well, yeah? Well, I believe you. And I hope they keep that gold for you, you creep, you liar, you thief, you murderer, slaver, monster. How dare you use good Jewish people as a human shield? How dare you! Well, it looks like Null humiliated himself in front of everybody by doing the opposite of what I would have advised. I also think it's funny that he wanted Israel to carpet bomb Jordan, when Jordan helped Israel shoot down missiles and drones through this entire thing and save Jewish lives. But ultimately, Null doesn't care about that. Most Zionists don't care about Jewish lives. In fact, I would go so far as to say they welcome as much violence towards Jews as possible so they can make the Holocaust again and again and again and exploit it again and again and again! No more! Super awesome to see the far left and the far right get utterly put in their place in one fell swoop. God bless President Trump. God bless the United States. God bless the Middle East. And the Ayatollah's like 86. You could just leave him alone. He's okay. I know he says some crazy stuff. He's 86. Just leave him alone. It's that simple. Drags, the guy with the Godzilla avatar on Kiwi Farms, Drags, he's so funny. I always kind of liked him, even before he signed my cast, and even after he started messing with me when people were ganging up on me on the website. Fair, I'm not special. He's always been good-spirited, and he made me laugh a bunch while I was having trouble sleeping and getting an ever-increasing sinking feeling in my stomach recently. He saved hairs on my head, hairs that I've lost recently from stress. Like, God bless Drags. Drags. It's like dragon. Drags. Whoops. Oh, well, this is going to be a short one. Sorry for yelling. I hope that didn't hurt any of y'all's ears. I love you. Keep your prayers powerful, because it really, really works. Put a spiritual shield around Trump, God. Oh, and Christ guide him. Mary protect him. And Mary protect Melania. Oh, gosh. God protect all the Trump family. We'll see the Trumps rewarded for this. We'll see the Trumps rewarded for this, all right. All right, y'all. Very short episode, little mini episode for y'all, filled with passion. I love you. I'll be back tomorrow, probably with a nice margarita in hand and some handmade salsa. Cheers.